Welcome to the Near Memo, a weekly conversation about search, social, and commerce. What happened, why it matters, and the implications for local. All right, welcome back, everybody, to episode 34 of the Near Memo. I'm Greg, and I'm here, as always, with Mike and David, and we're going to talk about search, social, and commerce, and all the interesting things that happened, or many of the interesting things that happened in the past week that we also cover in our newsletter and on the blog. And we're waiting to talk about Apple Maps in more detail until Mike can do a deeper dive on it. But that would ordinarily be a interesting topic today, but we're not going to talk about that. And Mike, you get to go first, and you're going to talk about Bloomingdale's.
I am going to, So, interesting article in Retail Dive about the new Bloomies format. So, as you know, or
what is Bloomies? What is Bloomies?
So, Bloomies is the concept from Bloomingdale's of a smaller footprint store. It is in the face of malls having difficulty and most department stores, in fact, maybe more than half closing in malls in 2021. Many of the better retailers have gone to outside shopping districts or downtown districts. And as part of that, Bloomingdale's developed a smaller footprint, stylish selection of products in a tech-savvy space, 22,000 square feet, where instead of wading through rack after rack, they have this heavily curated and frequently changing product mix that rotates trends, and they host activations, and they feature these pop-up merchandise carts. And so theoretically, it prompts product discovery. They also offer Cuban food and coffee to keep you going.
Why the Cuban food?
I have no idea. It's called the Colada Shop, but I have no idea why they chose that. But so it's interesting that they're doing this heavily curated thing, and they're what they call stylists. These are people that can help you pick from the stylish things that are on display, shoes and shirts. Everybody's cross-trained in every department, and they have a QR code system. So if you need to call an associate over, you scan the QR code and somebody comes over. And then this stylist, as they call them, can help you either mix and match with the stuff that's there. They can help you order online, or they can even order from other third parties. They're not limited to just Bloomingdale's stock. So I just thought it was an interesting response to the failure of the malls, the decline of department stores, the need for going outdoors, to these outdoor shopping areas. And so I thought it was fascinating that this is a response to the changing retail environment that's more experience driven.
I was trying to say that the Cuban food and coffee might be the only thing to bring me in to that concept.
Well, but then once you go in, you get to see all these.
It's primarily. I'm at the risk of sounding sexist. I think it's their target audience is predominantly women. I would imagine, right?
It sounds to me like it's style conscious people, but you could be right. Certainly.
So younger, probably younger shoppers,
right,
who are going to be more gender balanced, and maybe among older shoppers, predominantly women. Do either of you shop at Bloomingdale's? I walk through Bloomingdale's.
David buys golf shirts. I buy, T-shirts. That's the end of the story.
Typically from courses I've actually played, though, so I don't know that I would buy a shirt from Bloomingdale's. No, I think it is an interesting concept. I think it ties in as well with the sort of showrooming type idea for Warby Parker and Bonobos and those sorts of companies, and certainly as a way for Bloomingdale's to save on rent in higher rent and larger footprint stores. So,
well,
one of the interesting changes is this front desk, right? Is where it's set up to answer questions, perform tasks like online pickups, returns, gift wrapping, alterations, and styling, as well as a drop box for online returns. It's interesting that the function of the back room stuff is being pushed out to the front, and the cashier is being hidden at some level.
Well, I think. Go ahead, David.
Does it have the Amazon just walk out with the item, RFID chip or anything? No.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think that I think that that's a context, a much higher touch context, and I think just walk out works when you know exactly what you want. You go, you pick it up off the shelf. But this is, it seems like this is designed to be an environment where these stylists interact, I mean, as you say, in a curated way with shoppers. I think, kudos to them for trying something really different, because, you can't just do the same old thing and expect success. It seems like there's like two categories now of retailers. Well, beyond the ones that are not going to do anything and screw up and fail. But in terms of the ones that are trying to innovate, you've got folks like Walmart and Target and maybe some others that are leaning heavily on technology tools and sort of buy online, pick up in store, and store fulfillment of online orders and that kind of thing. But not necessarily radically changing the store experience itself, not upgrading the sales personnel or physically changing the store experience. And then you've got some others, and maybe Nordstrom falls into this category with Nordstrom Local, which has been around for a little while, and this one, Bloomies, and there's probably a couple other examples, and the showrooming examples for sure. I think that are very different, either different in their intention or different in terms of the experience. Warby Parker wants you to come in, look at the glasses, and they don't care where you buy them, and this experience will be dramatically different. And there's some other examples in the UK that I can't think of top of mind. So,
just a note about Walmart, which I find interesting. They talked about Walmart Plus last week in the news, having seen great success, growing a lot, adding a lot of consumers, but also having a demographic very similar, if not even higher than Amazon's program. And they were so focused on customer experience in this aspect of their online order, where they'll deliver groceries to your door and they give you all these special perks. What I find fascinating with Walmart, though, in that category of order online, pick up in store, from what I can read about the reviews, and I still monitor the reviews, is they're in store. They never have enough cashiers. The lines are too long. The self-checkout doesn't work effectively. Right. And it's like such a contradiction in terms of customer service and clientele between these two.
So they're neglecting the fundamentals then.
I can't quite figure it out. It's like there's so many line and cashier complaints. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, I think the Just Walk Out stuff is a kind of a solution to that, and it's very, very interesting. Then that's kind of merits another discussion. But in the interest of time, I want to move on to
recent issue. I was just going to say, if these are particularly apparent recently, it could be just labor shortage problems.
Yeah,
which a lot of stores are having.
That's entirely fair, given the hiring challenges.
Well, I may take a deep look at it. It's just fascinating to me that they would have so much going for them and screw up at the last point of customer
Interestingly, this week you had Target saying they're going to hire, I think, 100,000 for the holiday, and Macy's saying something like they're going to hire close to 80,000 for the holiday. I mean, if they're having trouble now, how are they going to get 100,000 people?
Right, and CVS saying 25,000. Yeah. The numbers are big; they're all short.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're doing this as part of a PR push to get people interested and show up, but it's going to be really challenging, I think, if they're having trouble now.
Yeah.
My advice for you, Greg, is to order your Hanukkah gifts early, and for you, David, to order your Christmas gifts early.
Yeah.
Great advice. Sage wisdom here on the Near Memo.
Yes, and to everyone listening or watching.
Deep tactical insight.
Thanks for joining David, Mike, and Greg. To stay on top of the latest developments in local, subscribe to our newsletter at nearmedia.co. We'll see you next week.